Bob, welcome to Comic Con.
Thank you.
Yes, you are a legend in this business of voice acting.
Oh, thank you very much.
So, talk to me about, as I understand it, MeTV Toons will collect or house a lot of the classic animated shows and movies. Talk to me about the significance of MeTV Toons.
Well, the significance is, first of all, nostalgia. Let's start there. The other significance to me is nowhere, no network has had this diverse a platform of franchises. You might have these cartoons on this channel, these cartoons on this channel. MeTV Toons is every cartoon in one-stop shop. And it's on at the same time for everybody. Everybody's watching Popeye. Everybody's watching the Flintstones. Everybody's watching Speed Racer at the same time, like they did when it was Saturday morning cartoons. And these cartoons are for people my age who were fans of the original, and a new generation who's never seen them because they haven't really been broadcast in a very long time get to see them. They're brand new to them, but they're nostalgia to us.
That's right. Now, fun question. Out of all the voices that you've ever done, what's your number one favorite?
Probably the pig. I like it. I like it. I like the pig.
What's your advice for an aspiring voice actor, one who want to get into business, especially how to alter their cadence and inflection?
Study. It's called voice acting for a reason. Study acting, study improv, and then study voiceover, and realize it's not about the voice. All characters have a voice, but not all voices have character. So people who, and you know you do this, people who email me every day with an MP3, I do a great Homer Simpson, I do a great Scooby-Doo. My response is always, I want to hear you read the front page of your local newspaper in character. Because they can say,
That's all, folks. Ooh, you big little putty cat.
but they can't say new dialogue because they're married to the classic catchphrases. So you've got to create new, you got to create original, and you got to be a really good actor.
Now, finally, before I let you go, there has been some pushback about, why are these projects casting big names instead of actual voice actors? This big animated studio stuff. What are your thoughts on that? Which camp are you in?
They've been doing that since the very first animated feature, which was called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. They've always cast well-known character actors. Back then, these character actors came from radio. Radio was as big as TV is today. They didn't give them all screen credit either, but they hired celebrities, always, to voice these animated features. But they did an animated feature once every 5 to 7 years. Today, every major studio has a thriving animation department. You have to take off your actor hat and you have to put on a studio executive hat. What's going to bring in more box office? A name on the marquee or an unknown voice actor like me? A name, a Tom Hanks, a Tim Allen, absolutely. But I've done dozens of animated features. I've never played the lead in a Pixar movie, but I've played dozens and dozens of characters. There's work for everybody. I absolutely understand, appreciate, and respect a studio's desire to bring in star names, as long as they're good. Pixar does it really well. You can't, Ellen DeGeneres was brilliant. Tom Hanks was brilliant. Every once in a while, it's a stunt casting and you're like, yeah, that didn't quite work for that one, but so what? They can't all be hits, but I've got no problem with it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rob.
Absolutely.
Hello, Candi. Welcome to Comic Con.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. This is great.
Yeah, and we're excited about the MeTV Toons, which I understand will house a lot of the classic animated shows and movies. Talk to me about the significance of that.
I think the significance of it is you're going to see real art, and that is all hand-drawn 2D animation that's been meticulously restored. You're going to watch it together because it'll be on at a certain time, and I think you'll be able to see stories that are classic and timeless and hilarious, and for those of us that are of a certain age, it will bring us back to our sofas when we were kids with our Captain Crunch, and for the younger generation, you'll hear what we were all talking about.
I'm of a certain age as well, so
yeah. So like, man, the one thing that we did last night was we were all at dinner together and we were talking about MeTV Toons, and the first thing that they said was that they had, some of the early Scooby-Doo, and we all went, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? And I was like, because that was when you had theme songs, Josie and the Pussycats, here I am to save the day. And I was like, we all went through all of the theme songs, and it wasn't just nostalgia, it just spoke to undeniable talent that went into making these cartoons and hand drawing them, and the amazing artists and the crazy songwriters and the writers and the voice actors, the Mel Blancs, the June Forays, and it's wonderful. And I think MeTV Toons brings that back to life. And I think it's important because it's also a very safe place for kids, because you're not going to have pop-up ads. You're not watching it on YouTube. You're not watching it on anything where a content creator, and believe me, I'm a huge fan of TikTok. Love TikTok. I love it. My daughter's like, put your phone down. I said, I can't. It's not out of battery yet. So they curate what portion of the cartoon you can watch. And what's great about MeTV Toons is they have the whole cartoon for you to sit and enjoy with every bit of your generation. It's going to be great.
I want to hear like of all the voices that you've done. What's the number one favorite? Let's hear it.
Well, I think it has to be Granny, dear. Sylvester Down Boy.
And I've done a lot, and people always say, what are your favorite? And I have hit favors Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory, the Flea from Mucha Lucha, and I have others, but there's nothing like the classic Granny being like low-key hostile. That's what I say.
Granny is absolutely fabulous until you upset her. Then she will smack you with that umbrella like nobody's business, dear.
Final question before I let you go. Was there ever a character that you wanted to voice but haven't had the opportunity to, that you wanted, like in the bucket list? What's the number one that you wanted to
Do you want me to be really weird? Do you know what I always wanted to do? And Eric Bauza does it. I know you'll speak with him. I wanted to be Marvin the Martian. Out of everything, he was my absolute favorite, and I felt like I could do a halfway decent Marvin. So if they ever remake it and Eric has a sore throat, I would love to have the opportunity.
Thank you so much, guys.
My pleasure.
Hey, Jeff, welcome to Comic Con.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, I should say.
What's up, Doc?
Yeah, I love your shirt, of course.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now, you are one of the legends in this business, voice acting business. What's the significance of MeTV Toons? I hear it houses a lot of the classics.
It's so special because growing up, I mean, it was Looney Tunes, Jetsons, Flintstones, Yogi, Huck, Spider-Man, Popeye, Speed Racer. I mean, this is basically my DNA is all on MeTV Toons. So I'm super excited. And I think kids are going to like this too, because it's different than the video game animation and the anime today, which is good. The computer animation is great, but this is hand-drawn, and so it's very different. And the gags take a little more time to develop. And I'm so excited for people to see a lot of these cartoons that maybe they've never seen.
Yeah, I mean, people of my age or your age can relate to nostalgia.
Right,
Yeah,
it's huge nostalgia, absolutely, yeah. And the cool thing is, when I was growing up, it was Saturday morning and maybe Tuesday afternoon at 3, 4 o'clock, right? Now, it's going to be in one place, MeTVToons.com. So that's really cool.
A fun question. Of all the voices that you've ever done, what's your number one favorite?
Well, I would say the rabbit, Doc.
And if I say Foghorn Leghorn, not I say nice boy, but about as sharp as a bowling ball. And then I would say George Jetson. Oh boy, I'm going to get the big raise. Raise Jetson, Mr. Spacely, Fred Flintstone, Barney Rubble. Watch me trick Fred out of his Cocoa Pebbles.
I mean, this is my whole life. I just love them all.
Now, I'm going to ask you, which voice that you've always wanted to do, but you haven't had the opportunity to do yet? That's bucket list number one.
Wow.
Yeah.
What animation? My gosh. I feel like I've done all the ones that I've wanted to do. I do. I feel like I would like to do Huckleberry Hound maybe a little bit more. Huckleberry Hound. That's one of my favorites. I am the greatest detective of all time. Yes, indeed. Yeah, that's maybe one I haven't done a lot, and I'd like to do more. Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, what's your advice for aspiring voice actors out there who want to get into business, and also about how to change their inflection and behavior?
Well, I would certainly watch whatever it is that you love. Lean into your passions. Whatever your favorite shows are, or if it's cartoons, watch those cartoons, and then take your phone and record yourself. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to have to take a big tape recorder with me. But now you get your phone. I always tell people, record yourself and see how it is. And then if you get a little less self-conscious, try maybe doing a video, because it's weird when you do a video of yourself doing a character. Because some people are conscious, but until you get used to the sound of your voice, because people always go, "Oh, I don't like the way I sound," and it just takes time to get used to that. So practice. Yeah, right.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
Thank you so much.
How are you?
Good. You're a man of 1,000 voices. I've lost count how many times I've interviewed you. Love it every time.
Well, you're the man of 1,000 interviews.
So talk to me about the significance of MeTV Toons.
Well, why MeTV Toons is so important is that it's not just saving animation or classic animation for that matter. It is how it's presented. People often forget about when you were a kid watching TV at a certain time. You could only watch The Simpsons at a certain time. You could only watch the Bugs Bunny and Tweety show at a certain time, or you'd miss it. There was no pausing and rewinding or recording. And when you watched it at that time, you were really watching it with an audience. And I feel like that's what MeTV Toons is going to bring with the cartoons that they show, is that not only will you be watching this, you'll be watching it with someone from across the street, in another state, literally from around the world.
Now, what are some of the shows that will be on MeTV Toons that some of your favorites? Yogi Bear, Jetsons?
Oh my gosh.
Well, we've covered Warner Brothers, right?
There's also Hanna-Barbera.
Woody Woodpecker.
And I don't know what else that my schizophrenia right now is missing, but
Shaggy?
oh my gosh, like hey Scoob, like you got a sandwich? Yeah. And Freakazoid, Animaniacs.
Hello, nurse.
I mean, Rob Paulson's around here somewhere, I'm sure.
I talked to Candi earlier. She said that she wanted to voice Marvin the Martian, but you own that lane at the moment.
Well, Earth creature, it's been about 15 Earth years. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah, I mean, Candi Milo is like a living Marvin the Martian. She is out of this world. But yeah, I feel like I've been blessed with these characters for as long as I've had them, and I'm always looking forward to the next generation of voice actors that has Mel Blanc living inside of them, or June Foray for that matter.
Before I let you go, one last question. Of all, which voice that you haven't done that you wanted to do so much, but you haven't had the opportunity yet? Bucket list number one.
That's an interesting one, because I have done Foghorn.
Okay.
Who else have I done? Boy, oh boy.
Joker?
Elmer Fudd. But yeah, I've never done Batman. Never done Batman. I mean, I was actually one of the last guys that got to interview and talk with Kevin Conroy, the Batman. And, I know one of the animated movies just came out. What was his last performance as Batman? And it just takes me back to the times that I got to spend with him, that I was lucky enough to be there with this man who was one of the most definitive performers of the, arguably. I know Michael Keaton on screen for many, but talking about the perfect Batman, I mean, animated series had the acting, it had the look, it had the music, it had the drama, and it was like a kid's cartoon. Like, I was like, is this on before or after The Sopranos? Because it didn't feel like a kid's cartoon. But it had everything, including Kevin Conroy.
That was a
Leading
perfect
the way.
tribute.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Seriously. Yeah. Hey, man.
Good to see you. Always, okay?
Yes,
Take
sir.
care.